My name is Lisa, I'm 71 years old, and last month, my son's wife, my own daughter-in-law, looked me dead in the eye in front of guests and called me the maid, not as a joke. Not out of confusion, but with the arrogance of someone who truly believed I was beneath her. And so I smiled, walked into my bedroom, opened my safe, pulled out a thick bundle of documents, and handed her the house keys. If I'm the maid, I told her, then you are the homeowner. Good luck paying the mortgage. Because starting today, it's all yours. Her face went pale. My son's jaw dropped. Everyone watched as the consequences of years of disrespect finally sank in. And that moment, that beautiful moment, was just the beginning of my revenge. Now let me tell you exactly how we got there. My life wasn't glamorous, but it was respectable. I worked as a nurse for 42 years. I raised my only child, Daniel, mostly on my own after his father passed when Daniel was 6. I paid every bill, cooked every meal, went to every school play, stayed up during every bout of fever. I never remarried, not because I didn't have the opportunity, but because Daniel was my world. Growing up, he would hold my wrinkled hands and say, "Mom, when I'm older, I'm gonna buy you a mansion." I'd laugh and reply, "I don't need a mansion, sweetheart. Just your love." I didn't know that life had a twisted sense of humor, how love can be overshadowed when someone else puts poison in your child's ears. Back then, I would have died before imagining the day my son's wife would look at me like I was dirt on her expensive heels. Daniel met Emily at a corporate event. She was smart, beautiful, and polished, everything he admired. I welcomed her with warm arms. I cooked for her, gave her gifts, even helped her plan their engagement party. But early on, I noticed something. A look. A flicker. A subtle wrinkle of her nose whenever she came to my house. At first, I brushed it off. People get nervous meeting their partner's family. But this was something deeper. One day, she walked into my kitchen while I was wearing an apron and sweeping the floor, no different from any normal day. She tilted her head and said, "Daniel didn't exaggerate. You really are a house type, a house type?" I repeated, "You know. The domestic sort. Cleaning, cooking, no hobbies except chores." She laughed. I laughed too, but inside, a small sting poked a hole in my heart. Still, I gave her grace. I told myself she'd warm up eventually. Oh, how naive I was. After Daniel and Emily married, they bought a fancy apartment. But financial reality hit them harder than they expected. "Mom," Daniel said, voice low, "we're drowning. The mortgage, the car, the wedding loans, it's too much." I didn't hesitate. "Move in with me." My house wasn't huge, but it was comfortable. And it was fully paid off because I had worked my bones to pay every last installment. Emily didn't love the idea, but she tolerated it, for a while. The first week, she complained about the furniture being outdated. The second week, she insisted I stop cooking heavy-smelling foods. By the third week, she began acting like the lady of the house. "Lisa," she'd call out from the living room, "could you bring me tea? And wipe the counter while you're at it." At first, I thought she was joking. She wasn't. I confronted Daniel. He shrugged. "She doesn't mean anything by it, Mom. She's just particular." Hurt flickered through me. "Particular? No, son. She's disrespectful." But I said nothing. Because mothers, we swallow oceans to keep the peace. It happened on a Sunday afternoon during a small gathering they hosted in my home. I was bringing out a tray of snacks when I overheard someone ask Emily, "How are things living with your mother-in-law?" Emily smirked. "Oh, it's fine. She's basically like the maid. The maid. The maid." The laughter that followed cracked something inside me that I didn't know could break anymore. I stood frozen with the tray in my hands. She saw me. And instead of apologizing, she said, "Oh. There she is. Speak of the maid." Everyone turned. My knees wobbled. My vision blurred. I didn't react. Not yet. Not there. Instead, I walked slowly to my room, locked the door, sat on the bed, and let the tears come. Not because she insulted me, but because my son, said nothing. That night I realized something important: people only abuse what they think they own. Emily thought she owned the house. That she owned me, my work, my kindness. Poor child. She didn't know she was living in a house built on sacrifice, and that sacrifices come with a backbone. A backbone I was about to show her. I spent all night thinking. Not of revenge. No, that would be too easy. I wanted a lesson. A slow, painful, elegant lesson. Then it hit me. The house. The mortgage they couldn't pay. The debts piling up. Their dependency on me. They thought living under my roof made me weak. But living under my roof was their greatest weakness. And so began my quiet, calculated plan. 2 years ago, I refinanced the house for renovations but paid off most of the amount quickly. Only $62,000 remained. Emily didn't know. Daniel didn't know. That mortgage was hidden behind my safe and handled privately. I had been clearing it slowly, comfortably, until I decided not to clear it anymore. Instead, I transferred it. I placed the remaining mortgage legally under Daniel and Emily's names. A regular property transfer. A clean, flawless legal move. I didn't give them the house. I gave them the debt. All done with a signature they both unknowingly provided months earlier when they signed some paperwork to help with home insurance. Oh, Emily. Maybe read what you sign next time. Over the next week, I acted normally. Cooked their favorite meals. Did laundry. Cleaned the house. Emily grew comfortable again, and bold. One morning, she clapped her hands and said, "Lisa, the bathroom hasn't been scrubbed. Could you do it?" I stared at her. Smiled. And said warmly, "Of course." But inside, I was counting hours. Hours until everything came crashing down. The moment arrived sooner than I expected. The bank called. "Mrs. Bennett, the new owners of the mortgage must begin payments next month. We've sent them the detailed schedule." I almost giggled. 2 days later, I heard it. "What is this?" Emily shrieked from the living room. "Daniel, why is your name on a $62,000 mortgage?" "Why mine?" I walked out calmly. She spun around. "Lisa! What is this?" "That," I said sweetly, "is your home." "What do you mean our home?" "We don't own this place, you do now." I smiled. "In fact, I already moved my things to the guest room. This is your house. You get to manage everything." Daniel looked like someone unplugged his brain. "Mom. What did you do?" "I transferred ownership," I replied plainly. "You and Emily always wanted independence. And Emily said herself that I'm basically the maid." Emily's mouth fell open. "So now," I continued, "the maid is stepping down. And the homeowners are stepping up." I pulled the keys from my pocket and placed them gently in Emily's trembling hand. "Good luck with the mortgage, sweetheart." The room went silent. They were furious. Daniel followed me to my room. "Mom, why? Why would you do this?" I looked at my son, the boy I raised, the man I'd sacrificed everything for, and my heart broke at how blind he had become. "Daniel," I said softly, "respect is not a chore. It's not optional. Your wife insulted me. You allowed it. I'm done living like a burden in my own house." Emily barged in. "You can't do this. This is financial manipulation." "No, dear," I said calmly. "This is adulthood," she screamed. Daniel yelled. I stayed silent. Because the truth? Silence is the loudest weapon. Within a week, bills flooded in. Real mortgage payments. Maintenance expenses. Utilities. Emily snapped first. This house is old. We can't afford this. We're drowning, I nodded sympathetically. It's a lot of responsibility owning a home. Especially when you don't treat the previous owner well. Daniel was quiet. He knew. He understood. They decided to move out. They couldn't manage the costs. The market was bad. Rent was high. And the mortgage payments were brutal. They begged me to reverse the transfer. I refused politely. You wanted distance, I reminded them. You wanted adulthood. You wanted control. Now you have it. Then I moved out. Into a lovely senior community with a garden, morning tai chi, and neighbors who respect me. 6 weeks later, I got a call from Daniel. Mom. His voice broke. We're selling the house. We can't handle it. We're sorry. Emily. Emily knows she was wronged. I closed my eyes, letting the satisfaction wash over me. They weren't apologizing because of guilt. They were apologizing because of consequence. And sometimes, that's good enough. So that, my friends, is how a 71-year-old woman who spent her whole life serving others finally served herself. My daughter-in-law called me the maid. So I handed her a life where she truly had to clean up her own mess. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I just handed her the keys. And walked away from people who forgot my worth. Because here's the truth, when someone treats you like a servant, give them the house. And watch them crumble under the responsibilities they thought they deserved. As for me, I wake up in a sunny room, drink my tea on a balcony overlooking a garden, and smile. Because freedom, the real kind, is the sweetest revenge of all.